Hey everybody, how you doing today? Thought I would get an update on the space station, show you where it's at right now, what I've done to it, and just keep in mind I've been having some PC problems, and it has to do with my video card, the RTX 2080 gigabyte brand WinForce 3 is running way too hot, and it's especially bad in Empyrion on planets. Where I'm at right now with the better lighting. But I been taking a lot of steps to deal with that. And essentially, what happened is it started. It used to run somewhere between like 50, 55, and 65 degrees Celsius, which I was totally cool with. And then all of a sudden, it started running in the 80s, and it's kicking on like big time fans and things like that. So what I did is I downloaded some monitoring software. Also, I pulled the video card out and blew it out for a while. It was clean though. It was really clean. The inside of the PC is clean. It's dust bunny free. And it's the PC itself is a Antec 900 case. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's an older case, but really good cooling. It's got a lot of big fans. They're all working properly. The case itself is great airflow. I'm just thinking the video card, the thermal, the heat sinks with the three fans and the heat pipes or something. The thermal paste is wearing out on it, or whatever was done by the factory, and it's not getting all the way good contacts anymore. And why the card is getting so hot right now. Right now, what I did is I put it in some kind of economy mode, and I manually cranked up the fan speed to 100%, so I could keep this running under 80 degrees Celsius. And so it's about 75 degrees Celsius right now, and everything is working all right. But a little bit louder inside the case for sure, and it shouldn't. I still don't even like it running that hot, but wanted to get a video up. So anyway, changes to the space station, or work that's been done to it. I kind of finalized this lower area for now. I dropped it down a couple blocks from the last time I showed some work done to it. I extended out these holder arms so they work right with the Majora modules. And I dropped it down because what I noticed when they're up a couple blocks higher is if you park in a Helios module, especially one that goes down past this point here, which even some of the modules that I did do that, it was disruptive to park the other ones below it. By dropping it down a couple more blocks and putting it firmly out of the way, it should no longer be an issue unless you got a really deep module that's parked above it. So that was done there. Now a lot of I got to fix a lot of these little texture line things all over the thing, and I screwed up certain areas of textures on here as well. So on one side of it as well, after I showed Excalibur this the station, he really wanted it to have a dropship module bay. And I started thinking about it. I was a little resistant to it at first, thinking, oh, I'm gonna have to redesign the whole station and it's not gonna fit and this and that. Well, I decided to tool around with it, and it came out actually to be quite easy. I removed the little the thingies that I had on the sides here that didn't really serve any purpose, and then changed the opening over here and extended this boom arm thing out over to hold it down, and it docks totally fine now. So the parks in, the landing gear will hit over here. The ramp comes down, and bam, you can go drive stuff in and out of it from the hangar. And because this is a base, in that the CVs don't technically dock, you don't have to undock the CV before loading something onto it, which is kind of a bit of a benefit, I would say. Before you had to slightly on the Helios, you'd have to kind of remove it from its dock so you could dock HVs or SVs in the hangar of the Apollo. You don't need to do that anymore. So well, with being a base. Also, I fixed all these boom arms. That was another problem I think I showed last time, where I didn't like how the mechanism looked Block wise, I had them like connected straight up to this, and in some cases a little spire thing that came down. It made no sense. So now I kind of set it up so it has a cross beam that comes across this way, does not connect there, and kind of made it look like there's hinges here, like this for some reason could fold up or something like that. That was another little modification I wanted to get done on it, and I changed these, the angled ones around as well. I couldn't really do the swivel thing quite the same because it's on an angle, but I did have it so it doesn't go all the way back, and I got rid of that weird spire thing that made no sense there. So I think that just overall looks better and seems a little more feasible. So on the interior, I did start on that as well. Now, keep in mind, since I added this new hangar door to it, I kind of lost the wall space. Like you can see on this side, it was more filled in. And so you got like kind of like 3 hangar doors going on those sides, but this side wasn't. So I figured this would be a great opportunity to add in crafting and stuff over on this side of the base, and it's kind of asymmetrical with the rest of it, which is cool. So what I've got in here so far, and granted I'm getting ready to do this next chunk over here, is it's got 3 320K storage, 3 advanced constructors there, and 3 furnaces above. Now I was a little worried about the furnaces. Originally, I was going to put them on this wall on the floor, and then I got to keep you, you know, a block away so you don't get fried from them. But then I was like, well, that really sucks up a lot of space, and I want to get more constructors in here. And I didn't really want to build like an island out here of crafting stuff because I'm trying to keep the hangar space as open as I can. So I came to the conclusion that what if I put the furnaces above but by an extra block, so you don't, here let me turn on the stats, so you don't have any heat issues when you're under them, which does work. I mean, of course this is going to be in space, and if you're jetpacking around and get too close to one of these, you'll heat up to 250 degrees Celsius, but if you're walking around normally below here, you won't have that issue. I don't think this would be a problem unless you're really careless flying around. Now granted, in space I typically am using a jetpack. It's just you don't want to be too close to the ceiling under the crafting area. But by doing that, excuse me, well, it has a lot more room to put stuff. In fact, I can like pretty much double everything that's over here on the other side. And I kind of like that idea. I'm able to fit more stuff in. I wanted a floor above here anyway, and that's all happy to far enough away from the furnaces to not give any heat issues. And it utilized the space way better by doing it this way. So I think I'll keep that unless there's some other problem that I'm not aware of that comes up, and I'll have to extend out the crafting and utility out in this area. Now I don't want it a mirror of what's over here, and I don't really think there's necessarily a need for 6 furnaces. That'd be an awful lot of furnaces. So I'm thinking that, you know, and I don't know precisely, but what do you think is 3 furnaces enough for a space station like this? You think it should have more than 3? 3 fits pretty nice. Undoubtedly, I could probably pop in more over on this side, but I did want to like build something different over on this side. I for whatever reason, I wanted to get in like a little chunk of like 4 small constructors again, and I got to get in all the other utility stuff on this side plus some more storage. So it's going to be different. And I wasn't planning on necessarily adding more furnaces, but I'm just not sure if 3's cool. But anyway, at the end of the day, it is coming along. I'll have to do some more logistic stuff. I want to do some another build video and get the top done. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow, but I also would prefer to work on it in space. In the space lighting, I know sucks, but it would just help keep the PC cooler until I can get around to getting some new thermal paste and trying to kind of remount the whole cooling system on the video card. And I think that's probably what the problem is. And if I could do that successfully, I could probably cool it down and everything would be fine again for the foreseeable future. Right now, I'm kind of like I don't like it running as hot as it is, although it's in safe limits right now. But I probably also lost some FPS that I'm not necessarily noticing in this game, but probably lost a little bit of frames per second. Okay, so one other thing too, the Mark MX3R, I did release the new version of that this Sunday, or updated the existing blueprint, but I spawned it in to take a look at a comment about oxygen, and then I realized there's a couple other problems with it, so I think I'm going to have to patch it again. Essentially what happened when I first spawned it in, the shield was gone. Probably because I saved it in vanilla, and vanilla's got a different shield than Reforged Eden. So maybe it can't come stock with a shield. I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure that out. Also, the generators. I put in like 3 of these generators, which is cool for vanilla. In fact, I think everything should be cool with vanilla. But Reforged Eden is problematic because it cuts the shield out of it to start with. These generators aren't cool either on CPU. Like for instance, what you actually have to do in Reforged Eden is cut all 3 of these. I probably should texture behind some of that and pop in one of these, and then you add in a light shield. And then you add in, let me grab, where to go, a basic CPU core block, and pop it in. The shield just, oh, that's not the right kind. Where did it go? I thought I just had these out. There it is. Okay, and then you pop in a basic CPU core block, and then the CPU comes out right with Reforged Eden. So with the shield, the basic core, and swapping out the generators. And then I tested that with the shield. Let me fill that up, get some taxid, fill that up, turn on the shield, and take you for a flight. Power wise, it seems to be cool. Charging the shield and flying around all over the place. So everything seems to be pretty good with it right now. But yeah, I gotta update the description on this, I believe. Now, one other thing that was brought up is oxygen on the post. It was this one I was taking a look at that as well. And basically it was noted that there's not oxygen over here in those 2 block areas, and I'm like, yeah, there isn't. And it was probably due to the choice of part that I used here, which is like a 2-angled glass piece, and I wanted glass over the generator anyway, out over that side, and I used this other part so it would make like a little frame rail that kind of connects to where I put the Pentaxid tank now, which is in the center of the ship. I know it doesn't look like it's the center, but the hallway's offset by 1 block, due to its 2 width going up to the cockpit. So you don't get air in these 2 blocks right here, but honestly, you walk under it when you're walking through the ship. So I'm out of God mode right now, and even if you try to jump up in here, it doesn't really let you. So you never lose oxygen, and the rest of it's are filled. So I don't really have a problem with that. I mean, if I did, I guess I could just swap out the glass pieces and put in like a straight piece of glass, and lose these little things, and that's what I was looking at. I wanted, because I just stuck this in the middle of nowhere, it just didn't, to me, look like it was supported properly. So I used that piece that makes it look like there's a little beam that connects to it and stuff like that. And that's basically it. So I'm not sure about that, but I will update the blueprint description on what you should do with Reforged Eden better, because I didn't realize things were happening the way they were. And I think in vanilla, when you spawn it, it does have a shield in it, but the shield's different than that of Reforged Eden. So when you spawn it in Reforged Eden, the shield's just not in the ship, which is just, yeah, it's kind of a pain to deal with the translation between the two, especially when you're trying to make certain types of things work with both. But anyway, that's all I've got for today. Tomorrow I may try to do another build tutorial on this, and I would like to build the top of this out. Been trying to think of ideas, layouts. One thing I'm going to have to deal with, though, is try to figure out how to get interior access to the roof, and also down into the Majora module areas down below over here. Well, this is actually going to be engineering, I believe, but the Majora deck would be over here. But I'm going to need an elevator or a method to get downstairs, and I didn't want to necessarily put an elevator right in the middle of the hangar. I guess I could, though. It would just go down, but to get up to the top of the station, right now I've got 4 elevators installed in the 4 corners of it, but currently they're only taking you up to this deck, and maybe from this deck here, maybe some areas that get you up to the roof. I'll have to figure that out. I don't think it should be too bad, though. Anyway, y'all have yourself a good day, and I will talk to you later.